Good now, revolutionaries. This is the Rise Up Morning Show, and you are getting all the morning sounds today. Whether you're listening morning, noon, or night, it is time to wake up and smell the crypto. Alex has got the pour over going. I've got heaven sent me. We're stacked and ready. Honestly,
dude, that is such a mug.
Isn't that great?
A mug and a half right there.
Hey man, nothing like socially acceptable drugs in the morning. Am I right?
Dude, for real. Like, let's all just not pretend we're all hopeless addicts dragging ourselves out of bed and making the pour over first thing.
You know, we drink coffee probably every day, but while Kim was gone, I don't do coffee after like 10. I switched to decaf kind of thing because it affects me. But Kim is the kind of person she could drink all coffee all day with a couple of Monster Energy drinks on top, no problem. She's like wrecked her caffeine receptors totally.
Well, I will say when I was working, when I was at the air station, I mean, it was a steady stream. You were caffeinated from the second you walked through the door, the whole time, the entire time. And so that definitely torpedoed me. That's the reason I am the way that I am. It's just like you're barely functioning because, you're all sleeping like 2 hours a night, 3 hours a night. So it's the only thing coursing through your veins.
So do you want to tell people about our cute little music setup?
Ooh,
that we're jiving with?
I was going to say, we just blew Tristan's eardrums out.
Oh, we did.
I
was casually listening to music, then bam, Evan. Sorry, brother. I'll make sure to ease into it next time. I'll do a good morning or something.
Nice.
Usually I say we are live.
Crescendo.
Yeah, I usually say this. My favorite radio voice. I'll tell you. You know something I missed. Somebody we need to have on is we should have Sal DeGuardia on from Crypto Radio Network. We took a Crypto Radio Network break, and so I haven't heard him lately. But he's like the radio pro. He's like who I channel when I'm like doing any kind of crypto announcing. He's got that Sal DeGuardia radio voice, and he just nails
he's
it.
got the name. His name,
yeah, Sal DeGuardia.
It could not get any more.
No, it absolutely could not. Absolutely could not. So we should have him on sometime, if only, and not if only, because he'd contribute a lot of value, but if only to have him take over and just totally intro the show. Everybody who's joining us in the Twitter space, welcome. I'm so glad to see you here, Neil. So glad to see you here. Our friend Skull Elf is here. All you got to do is tap that little request button. Come on up. I know you only have a little bit of time. We have a treat for you. We were going to talk about blockchain basics today, and my challenge to the listening public is, what questions do you have? What questions do you squirm when someone asks you because you're like, I secretly don't know the answer to that. I don't have a good explanation to that. What questions do you think you can stump us with? And the real thing I would say to keep in mind is, like, let's make this helpful for listeners too. Like, you can try and stump us and we'll have a lot of fun with that. But
sure.
We had some feedback the other day from Lisa. She was saying, not everybody knows.
Try to stump us.
Yeah, no, Skull Elf, you're teaching the course today, man. But Lisa was saying not everybody knows what you guys are talking about. It's sometimes kind of like insider's baseball. And I think we take it for granted that everybody is, they know the same stuff that we do, or that we know stuff that maybe we need to refresh on. So that's what kind of today is about, and maybe Friday too, if we can get Skull Elf back for some extra.
Definitely.
So leave us a question, leave us a comment, try to stump us. And while Skull Elf comes up, Alex, if somebody is joining us for the first time, do you want to tell them about the fabulous gift that we have prepared for them today?
Absolutely. Dude, I was vibing so hard to the night driving that I totally forgot about.
Is that what this track is called? Night driving?
Night driving. Courtesy of our friends at StreamYard. Dude, side note, I just realized that it's the 30th episode. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, isn't it? Happy 30th episode, man.
It's kind of a thing. Happy anniversary.
I don't feel a day over 12.
Yeah, well, judging by the the chaos of the most previous recording, you would think that this is the second episode. But
it feels like the first time.
But regardless, this is now the 30th POAP that we've given out. And if you are new and you have never been with us before, a POAP is a proof of attendance protocol. It's a cool little way that you can memorialize the fact that you did a thing by minting yourself a free token and letting it live on the blockchain forever. So in order to claim it, all you need to do is head on over to the Faceless Many Discord. And right up at the top, there's a channel called the Bot Hub, which has a big old fancy POAP button in it. You hit it, and it will give you a little text box. When prompted, you'll enter the secret word, the first half of which Evan is going to give you imminently, and the second half of which Evan will give you near the end of the show at the top of the hour. So without further ado, Evan.
I replaced my drum roll sound, and our buddy Bill's not here to give it to me. So I'll just tell you with great aplomb that the first part of the secret word in honor of our guest is llama. That's right.
Perfect.
The first part of the secret word is llama. Put it together with the second half of the secret word at the end of our show, and you, yes, you, can mint your very own POAP featuring collectible artwork from the Faceless Many. This is another sneak peek preview. We've got a collage of characters. You're going to love some of the traits you're going to see. There's a little Cyclops guy in there. There's a little like Goku looking MFer in there. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool one today.
This is one that I'm excited to watch people zoom into and grab some screenshots and theorize about the names of some traits and all that sort of stuff as we get ever closer to the mini mint.
I think I crammed like almost 30 of them in there.
Oh,
and so
okay.
Brilliant. So it'll really be like a little pinch and zoom and scroll thing. So enjoy it. But you got to get the second part of the secret word, which you'll hear after this. I know, Skull Elf, that you have to go. So just by very quick way of introduction, we'll say security guru could be a terrible nightmare for your Discord project, except he's such a friendly guy, always brings love and llamas and great knowledge to your community, and is on Twitter at BobbetBot, BobbetBot, in case you're joining on the YouTube stream. Skull Elf, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
Doing good. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us on short notice. I saw your thread about wanting to give more just education help about security. So listen, man, let us know how we can help you help people.
Okay, so first of all, as you said, I don't have much time here. I actually already need to go. So the first thing I would say is like the biggest issue right now, as it stands from my point of view as a security expert, is the fact that there are too many others who claim to be an expert. No disrespect to those who actually are, but trading on Web3 is not making you an expert in security. And there are issues when it comes to connecting your wallet, to signing transactions, to basically using the protocol in any way that is, even a little bit off. On other networks, you have drainers, basically. So you would sign a transaction, and on BSC or Ethereum or Polygon or whatever, the protocol basically works in a way that allows the smart contract to perform actions in your wallet and not you perform the actions in the smart contract. So you can have basically a function that tells the wallet, send everything to this address, and then you allow the smart contract to perform this action in your wallet by basically welcoming it and letting it in. While we don't have that on Multiverse X, we still have other aspects of, let's say, connecting your wallet. So you would go to a new marketplace that is just launching and is doing a free mint because, why not? And you heard a billion times that Multiverse X is safe, so, you're fine. You go there, you use your key store to log in, and what you didn't know is that the URL is just a little bit off and not multiversex.com. It's, let's say, an uppercase I instead of L, and you just uploaded your key store along with your password to someone else's platform, and they now have your wallet. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And it happened. It happens, and it will happen. So something just to keep in mind before I have to go is always make sure that the platforms you're using are legitimate. If you're not sure what you're doing, if you're not sure that it's legitimate, and if there is any reason at all for you to be suspicious, just don't use it. Like, it's not worth the risk of waking up mid-morning and having your wallet completely empty. And that's something just to keep in mind. I already have several content creators who reached out to me and asked for primates and spaces just to talk about the risks and to raise the awareness. And I will definitely be joining the next show because I have a lot to share about it. So
awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction. I've pinned one of your tweets at the top. Is it fine if we just kind of collect some questions from the listeners, and the next show maybe we can go through them and you can give us a little rundown?
Even better. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much for making time to Skull Elf. And in honor of you, don't forget the first part of the secret word, llama. Have a llama wonderful day.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. See you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Boy. I want to just emphasize what he said at the start. Yeah. Not everybody is a security expert, and I am not. And Alex, you are, I think, a more generally secure person than me, but we're not pros, man.
I mean,
this brother's a pro.
Yeah, no, for sure. I may know a few little tips that I've picked up just from living with my dad, because I mean, from the time that I got my first computer, he was running his home, the network out of our house for part of his job. So we had to talk about, what constitutes safe internet practice and all that sort of stuff. And, but it's like, little teeny pro tips, like Skull Elf works in the field, has worked in the field, actually really knows what he's talking about. I just know a few little things to like help keep myself safe. And I wrote down a couple things that he was talking about, so we can kind of expand on that a little bit, but
let's do it.
But yeah, I've said this before, that I've made this video before actually, and he hit it right on the head. I think it's incredible to me how many people don't realize that most of these, like whether we're talking about an NFT project, a DeFi protocol, or something, most of these people are like starting up little fintech companies with no cybersecurity wherewithal whatsoever. And I mean, how many times do we hear about exploits, right? Like how many times have we heard about hacks? I mean, and I'm not even talking about the personal stuff, with like he was saying, someone who connects their wallet to the wrong website, who thinks that DM that they got on Twitter is actually from support staff, from Ledger, from whatever, like any of those things. I'm talking about at the protocol level, just massive exploits, right? I mean, think about the Axie Infinity hack, the biggest hack in DeFi history. Mac and I were in the audience when he was basically like receiving the news, or within a few hours of the CEO of Axie Infinity receiving the news that they'd been hacked for that much money. I mean, and that's a multi-million-dollar project and company and whatever that lost, what was it? I don't know if you remember, like $640 million. Someone fact check me on that, but it was more than $600 million. It was a lot, tremendous amount of money.
Yeah,
but
and he's just hanging out on stage.
Yeah, well, to his credit, he went on and he did the presentation, and he took questions.
Million.
And 620.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so it could not be more important. It pays to err on the side of paranoia a little bit, so we can go into a couple little pro tips. But Evan, do you have any specifics out of what he was talking about?
I would say a couple of very, very brief things. The first one is that though I joke that we are not security experts, I would say that you, as just somebody I know, you and I probably, but we practice probably better security than most people in the space, which is troubling to me. because we are not experts. Like, I'm sure if Skull Elf went through my personal stack, he could say, here are two or three things you might do differently. And I would be willing to bet money that you and I practice better security than 90% of the crypto population and probably 99% of the general population. I can't even tell you. I think I'm the only person I know in my life offline that uses different, random, strong passwords for everything. And, you know, where I log out of stuff, I don't keep things on this or that device. You know, I don't access my cryptocurrency from devices that I access the internet from. I use cold storage. All of these things, I would say, personally, if you're going to be serious about this kind of stuff, are a prerequisite to the space. And they are intimidating, but they don't have to be. So I guess what I would say is maybe we can talk a little more about like how to set that up at its very basic, with the caveat that, you know, I'm not an expert, you're not an expert, but these are the things we have learned from others' mistakes or best practices. You just got into crypto or you're just on the internet for the first time. Welcome to 2023. What are some things you could do?
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. I feel like I do a pretty good job, but I could immediately tell you right now without even really thinking about it, something I could improve. I do not practice spreading my assets around to different wallets very well. I do have several, but you know, I probably could have more. And being, you know, like, I'm going to out myself a little bit here, but being, you know, the founder of a project, obviously I have a little bit higher profile, you know, wallet and wallet activity or whatever. People, I know for a fact that there are people who watch my wallet and see what it does. If I send an offer to, you know, an NFT on a marketplace or something like that, I'll occasionally get questions like, hey, you know, why are you offering on that one? Or is there something special about that one? Or what are you guys planning for that? Or whatever the hell, you know? And it's so easy because my vault is in that. So it's
that's
like,
a really
you know,
good point.
It's no question. So one little pro tip, something that someone like Lisa is really good at, is just spreading your stuff around, you know? So using more than one wallet. Now, of course, there is a caveat to that, that the more wallets you have, the more wallets you are in charge of maintaining the keys for.
That's right.
The more likely it is that you could misplace a passphrase or something like that, and potentially lose something. So, you know, obviously with self-custody comes more responsibility, which is a trade-off. You're trading convenience for security.
Now, here's a way you could set it up and make it kind of easy, though. If I was trying to follow that advice, I would get a cold storage device, something like a Ledger, a Trezor, and I would figure out which of my assets am I holding for a long time, which of my assets don't I touch on a day-to-day basis. Those, they're going there. That's where they live. And if I wanted to diversify, as Alex is suggesting, I might get a second one. A lot of these companies have deals or whatever, but I would say it's much easier to set up multiple hot wallets for many different things. And a strategy I see recommended a lot by a number of folks I respect. 0x Quit is one who talks about this. It's a layering strategy where you've got sort of a primary online wallet that maybe you don't do a lot of trading with, that moves stuff to and from your ledger or to and from what it calls your social accounts. You think about it like the bottom layer. That's your cold storage. Then there's the top layer, which is like a low activity hot wallet. Then there might be a couple of wallets at a higher layer. And you can use a solution like MetaMask, for example, to generate multiple public keys from one private key pair, or generate new private keys and manage them in the same user interface.
We should pause really quick if we're saying private and public keys, since this is Web3 101, and just draw a line. What's the difference between the two?
Yeah. Can I actually go on this real quick? Because do you know an engineer on TikTok? He's got a great analogy for this. So the same way that browsers, pages, and passwords are the doorways to the internet right now. You get on your computer on the Google Chrome browser and you put in your username and password to get places on the internet. The way you will access the future internet, Web3, is going to be with a key pair. You have a cryptographic a string of numbers and letters. There are two of them that you have. You have a public key and you have a private key that you use to either send or receive assets, digital tokenized assets on the internet. And you can think about your public and private key like this. Your public key, you may have many of them, is like a username or a street address. If you live in a city like I do, you've got a street address, and anybody who knows your street address can send you mail. They don't need to be, a friend, a family member, they could be a company, they can advertise to you. Anybody can drop something in that mailbox if they have your public address. Your private address, your private key is like if you have a mailbox in an apartment complex that only you have the key to. That key lets you get in that mailbox and take out what other people put in there, or put your own mail in to send somebody else. I thought that's one of my favorite. Isn't that a fantastic analogy?
That's really good. I like that. Yeah. I'm going to steal that. And that's
right?
That's an engineer nugget.
Yeah, it's an engineer nugget. And the final thing to know about that is you can share your public address. You don't have to be nervous about sharing it. Although, as Alex has alluded, if you have a lot of assets, people can go to a public address and see what you've got there, which might... Go ahead.
Let's stick with this analogy for a second.
Stick with it, yeah.
The exact same reason that you may be hesitant to share your home address is the same reason you should be hesitant to share a public address. You know that someone is not going to be able to break into your house just because they know your address. So that's not the concern. You're not giving away the key to your front door by telling someone what your street address is, but they can now send you and sign you up for spam mailing lists. They can give that address to nefarious individuals with malicious intent who may try to lure you and trap you into something by sending you a scammy piece of mail or whatever. So having your public address available and out there and connected to multiple protocols or public knowledge of some sort does open you up to a particular kind of attack, which we refer to as dusting, or the idea of sending bullshit out to a bunch of different wallets of which we only have like the public keys and addresses for, and then hoping that you're going to do something with that. So like a Trojan horse type of scenario, right? So someone has your home address, they send you one of these dusting attacks, which could look like just a little batch of some cryptocurrency or token that you've never heard of before, that you don't have, that you didn't ask for, something that just showed up in your wallet one day. And then they're hoping that you're going to do something with it. So Evan, one of the ones that I'm thinking of before I get to David's question here is on OpenSea, they actually implemented a feature where they hide NFTs that are in your wallet that you've never interacted with until you opt into going to that place and specifically opt into interacting with it. Because even just interacting, and by that I mean like taking it and sending it away, you have to be careful. And that's something that you should look up that one online, ask for help from your various this is why it's so important to have a good Web3 community around you, just like we have at Faceless Labs, because someone might know more than you. I always ask about I usually text Skull Elf and like, if I have a question about something like that, I'm like, dude, what the hell is this thing? Like, that's someone whose opinion I would
sure
100% trust and seek out.
Yeah. And I think that might be another good thing to do, is shout out a couple of people that we could recommend. And let's put this together and give it to people. I do want to shout out to David, who asked, when can signing something put you at risk? I would say there are many times that signing something can put you at risk, because every action on a blockchain prompts your signature. You can't do anything without giving permission for it to be done. And signing something can put you at risk if you don't understand what you're being asked to sign. And this is one of the big hurdles that we have generally in user experience, where if you're on MetaMask or the Mihir wallet or whatever, you get a pop-up that asks you to sign something, and it doesn't explain in plain English what it is you're signing a lot of the time, such that anybody could just understand, what permissions am I granting? But that's how I would encourage you to think about it. If you don't know, I would say the first thing you should do is just Google it. Chances are somebody on crypto Twitter has had the same question as you, and you can verify a couple of different places. If Coinbase has an article about it, that's a trusted source. if somebody like, I don't know, BitBoy has an article about it, if a name you recognize is talking about it and you can verify it a couple of places, chances are it's probably legit. And I would say if you're worried that signing something can put you at risk, just don't sign it. Generally speaking, I would say signing something that gives an outside party access to your assets is always risky.
Yeah, I have
I don't
a MetaMask that I use just for general connections on ETH, Poly, whatever. I don't keep any substantial amount of crypto in there. I never have anything more than whatever I need for the interaction I'm about to execute, and then the gas. And unfortunately, David, that's a pretty hard question to answer, because the annoying answer, and this would be a good one to get Skull Elf to go into a little more detail on. But every time you sign something, theoretically, you're opening yourself up to a risk, because when you sign, you're authorizing that another entity is now able to take some kind of action with either your fund that you're allowing them to interact with, or with your wallet, depending on the type of connection. So you need to be so annoying. So you need to be careful about what it is you're connecting to, what the transaction that you're authorizing.
The permission it's asking you for. Right.
Yeah. Here's a good example. In our Discord, we have a bot that people can register their wallet with, and that's how they get their holder roles. That's how they use a lot of in-server features like our in-Discord mint. That's how they play the Syndicate games, all that sort of stuff. Willem would be another really good person to get on and talk about some kind of this stuff. But so we require that you authorize a transaction in your wallet to make that registration happen. And that transaction specifically, if you look at what does it give us permission to do, it gives us and Willem's bot permission to intake your public wallet address and then scan periodically to make sure that the NFTs that you're holding are still there and that you have the proper roles to reflect what it is that you're holding. You can disconnect it if you want us to stop making that query. It's not an authorization to like withdraw funds or withdraw anything from it. It's an authorization for us to look at it regularly. I think we scan once a week, I believe, to make sure that you're holding things and you have the valid roles and all that sort of stuff. So you're playing the game, you're doing whatever.
Yeah, and something you said that I realized I veered away in talking about public and private keys from a wallet insulation strategy, like a layering strategy. But you said it right there, it is a good practice to have what I would call a burner wallet. Go create another wallet. It's almost always, I mean, I don't know anybody who charges you to make more wallets. Go create a burner wallet. And if you're uncertain about something, go use that wallet to check it out. Don't keep assets on it. Don't keep stuff that, you can't afford to lose. And if you're worried about something, and make it a wallet that's separate, like different private key pair, different, not even tied to your other stuff. As Alex said about like the public address, it's like having a public address in your city. If people know where you live, they can drive by and look in your windows. I personally have a .eth, an ENS domain, conversationswithevan.eth, and it is tied to a social wallet, which is like my second layer. So I've got cold storage. Then I've got what I would consider a sort of primary hot wallets, where stuff that I'm not going to move a lot lives, where I don't necessarily want a bunch of people coming around. You can dig and find it. It's on the blockchain. But then I've got this conversationswithevan.eth where you can go and see some, NFTs I think are cute or whatever. It's more public. It's a house where I'm okay with people driving by and looking in the windows, because I'm not moving a lot of stuff in and out from it except to stay there as a showcase. I'm not gonna, be putting anything there that I would be so scared to lose. It almost exclusively holds NFTs. It's like a gallery. It doesn't hold ETH,
It's in general, it's a good idea for whenever you need to connect to anything. I mean, that's why I use that. This is a practice I do not use on Elrond, and I really should, because I'm just typically not connecting to anything that's not our protocols on Elrond. But on Ethereum, I connect to all kinds of things. When I was, minting various projects, this, that, and the other thing, or interacting with different staking protocols or different DeFi applications or whatever. And that's exactly why I had the burner wallet. Because if that one were to have gotten compromised, like Evan was saying, there might be a link in there to where if someone gets your burner wallet address and then they look at the transaction history and they can see, oh, they've been sending a lot to this wallet, that must be the real one. Again, in that case, they now have the public address, but you didn't connect that one to anything. And that's where
and another scam that I've seen, and I don't know how they do this. I would love to ask Skull Elf this myself, is they will generate a transaction that is a spoof transaction. People will watch your wallet activity and send you a transaction using a wallet address that appears to be similar to yours. Like Skull Elf was saying with URLs, well, they'll replace a lowercase L with a capital I to get you to go to the wrong address. They will create an address that is not the right address, that is a wallet they control, that you are giving permission to, that maybe looks like one of yours. So a good tip, always double check not just the URLs you go to, but the wallet address that you are sending stuff to. I pinned a tweet from revoke.cash on this, and revoke.cash is another good resource. Another tip I would throw out there, 30-second tip you can practice all the time, is it's not enough to disconnect your wallet. You have to revoke permissions. And unfortunately, in a lot of wallets, that's not a native feature. In MetaMask, that's not a native feature. It's another on-chain transaction to say, hey, I want to take back permissions that I have granted. You got to sign something. Revoke.cash is a trusted website that allows you to sign a transaction. It'll show you all the different kinds of people who have permission to your wallet, and then allow you to disconnect them in a transaction, like truly disconnect them, not just close the session, as it were. And in fact, that's a good homework right here, is if you haven't ever done it, go to revoke.cash, connect your ETH or Polygon wallet, and just see what sites are connected, have permission, and it will tell you what kind of permission they have. Check it out. And if you don't like it, click to revoke.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's something that people should be in the habit of doing regularly. Checking. That's one of the reasons that I like Mihir as a wallet interface a lot, which is the native Elrond wallet or Multiverse X wallet, because there's a very easy tab to access that shows you all of your open approvals or open connections, and you can go through there and blip, get rid of them. MetaMask has the same thing. It's a little bit harder to dig just because the UI on MetaMask, the user interface, the thing that you're interacting with on screen, is not quite as good as Mihir. Mihir is a lot more similar to like a PayPal. Like if you can use PayPal, you can use Mihir kind of thing. Whereas MetaMask is like learning a new protocol, basically. But they both have it, and every wallet. I don't do a lot with Solana, so I have a Phantom wallet, but I would be lying if I said I really spent any time, rooting around in there. But I'm sure that
rooting
has
around
to
on
exist.
Solana,
Rooting around, Well, I exclusively have it for Kuruma because I have a very good friend who has a project on Solana that I support. And so I created a Phantom wallet and bought Sol exclusively to mint their project. I've never touched the wallet for any other reason.
Okay, Alex, I got a rapid fire question for you. This is from Neil. We've talked about this, but how, aside from just like combing over the URL, how do I know that the link I'm clicking is valid? Like, realcrypto.com seems like a real website, but I mean,
so
what do I do?
The obnoxious answer, to be the safest, is to take a more circuitous route to get to the URL or the website in question. And so something that I do every single time is I know that there are places where the valid link is posted and shared. So on a verified social media account by the person or protocol that I'm interested in interacting with is usually where I'm going to go to find that website. Now, if I know what the website is, for example, the Multiverse X wallet, I'm not going to say it off the top of my head, but I have a list of bookmarks that I'll create for myself. So like, actually, I've never tried this. Let's just Google Elrond wallet and see
good
if
idea.
I get any weird options.
A live example. And hey, real quick, while Alex is pulling it up, say if you do have questions, I've seen them.
We're going to on the web and see if I get any weird options. So check it out.
Evan, you woke her up.
I wasn't talking to you, computer. I was talking to you. Yes, you listening in the audience. If you have questions, I promise I'm seeing them. We're going to get to them. And if you want to come up and contribute some knowledge, I see some really knowledgeable people in our Twitter audience, some helpful explainers, some good askers of questions. If that's you and you want to join this conversation, feel free to do it. This is your show. That's what we're here for. If you want to try and stump us, go ahead. Neil, I saw your question about liquid staking. I'm going to get to that, brother. You're not ready for that, man. Well, Neil's ready for that, but everyone else is like LSD. I'd like some.
Turns out that Elrond was a bad example because all of the top links are the legitimate ones.
Gotcha.
So that, but to take myself back to my original point, the way that I would first go to the actual protocol would be to follow a verified link from a verified social media page, which has gotten a little bit more challenging now that our fearless Twitter leader has allowed anybody to get a verification badge by paying $8 for it. So you need to be careful with that now as well. But pro tip, if you go to Twitter and you look at anyone's profile with that blue check mark on it, you can right click. I'm just going to go to mine so I can read it exactly to you. So you can right click on it, or excuse me, left click on the thing, and it'll say, a little pop-up will come and say verified account. This account is verified because it's subscribed to Twitter Blue. So then there's a learn more. Double check that, because that doesn't necessarily mean that it's legitimate.
And I would say if it's like a website, if it's not a username, I would verify. For Web3 projects, there's almost always a Discord, almost always a Twitter. Verify that, but verify backlinks too. Chances are, if they're a reputable project, somebody like Coinbase has covered them. And it's possible that Coinbase, this has happened before, or CoinDesk or whoever has gotten the wrong link and is sharing it. But you can pretty quickly, pretty easily cross-reference 3 or 4 sources. And if there's ambiguity, just don't click it. Or here's what you do. Here's what you do. You call your friend Alex and you say, hey man, I want to give you some alpha. I've got this great project. The URL is, are you using your burner wallet or don't, but just see what he says. If his reaction is, oh shoot, then you don't click it, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a way to like more succinctly, wrap this particular thing up, because the bad URL is like such a common trap to fall into. I would hazard a guess.
Or the bad QR code.
Yeah. Oh my God. Especially now with QR codes becoming just more and more prevalent. The amount of people that will scan a QR code with absolutely zero information about it is
and almost more so because of that. Like if you just put a QR code on a billboard, people would be like, I'm going to scan that. They just want to.
Well, so I had this conversation during the Super Bowl with that QR code, whatever. So QR code comes on the screen, not a lot of information. And one of my buddies was like, someone grab that. And I'm like, don't grab that. Don't grab it. Yeah. And he's like, and so then we kind of had a little bit of a back and forth, because he wasn't, totally clueless. He was like, well, I wouldn't like scan a QR code that was like at the bus stop slapped on the bench, but like this one had to get approved to go in a Super Bowl commercial. I was like, let me paint you a picture. This is a link to a thing, right? If I was truly malicious and I knew that millions upon millions of people were about to watch this program, and I knew that of that, however many million people, it was likely that 10% of them might scan this thing, it may be worth it, depending on what it is I'm extracting or trying to extract from them, to pay for the ad slot with a link that would check out as being legitimate. After approval, reroute the link to something else, which is possible.
Absolutely.
You can do that. So
simple.
Are you potentially missing out on something if it's totally legit? Maybe. But you know what? That's not a risk that I'm personally willing to take on my everyday cell phone that has, sensitive information on it, all that sort of stuff saved on it. Like if I was in the habit of carrying a burner phone in my pocket, then sure, what are you risking there? But like most of us don't carry a burner phone, so it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Now,
in my humble
Alex,
opinion.
I have two things. The first thing is you gotten a little quiet for me. Would you turn your mic up just a touch? And I mean, give me some thumbs down emojis if Alex is like screaming hot in your ear or something. I wanted to welcome our friends, DB Crypto and Neil, to the stage. They've come to join us in the Twitter space. Gentlemen, welcome. And before you share your question or comment, I do want to kind of make you pay a little bit of an ante, because Jower asked a question that I think is great, which is, where do you guys go for trusted learning? So before you share your question or comment, I'd love a resource from you. Where do you get information from?
Am I better?
DB,
Is this
yeah,
any better?
you're good.
Or,
You're beautiful. DB, go first, brother.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
How you been, man?
Thanks for having me up. I've been pretty good. No complaints here. Busy but good. So, let's see. To your question, where do I go? Oh, geez, I don't have a set place. DeFi Llama, Messiah, Masari. Just there's so many different tools and places to go. But I'm also scrolling Twitter probably 12 hours a day, which is excessive, but
sure.
Anyways,
but real quick to touch on those, DeFi Llama and Masari.
Llama
DeFi Llama is a dashboard that connects people who are interested in learning about decentralized finance to different kinds of resources and also tools that they can check out. And it's spelled just like it sounds. Skull Elf would love it. And then Masari, I can't give a concise pitch about that. What's your pitch about Masari, so that people who don't know can just get it real quick?
Oh, Masari offer so much beyond just the metrics. They also kind of review projects, talk about the technicals, the fundamentals. They go into the tokenomics sometimes. They break down a lot of the information you'll find on DeFi Llama as well.
Yeah.
And they also provide links, which is part of the reason why I wanted to jump up to help. I'm very, very cautious when it comes to clicking on links and connecting to anything. And so one of the things I found to be very useful is I always go to either CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap and connect to a protocol or project directly from the link there, because those links are typically verified and official. And CoinGecko is not going to put up a fake link for Multiverse X or whatever. So, and then once you're on the main website, you can get to any protocol or DApp you really want to. So that's the tool I use, as well as going through the official Twitter, which you will also find through CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. So I usually use multiple tools to verify links before ever clicking on anything on a website.
That's great, man. And I would say, CoinGecko is such a good one, because they do these little alerts that say this contract looks like a copy paste of something else, or it's been reported for suspicious activity. Super easy to understand, very helpful.
I love CoinGecko.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah, super quick, super easy, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get the correct link to whatever you're looking for if you go there.
Cool.
This is worth touching on, I think, really quick, because you bring up a really good point that CoinGecko is not going to put up an illegitimate link. I would rephrase that to say CoinGecko is way less likely to put up an illegitimate link. It is, of course, possible. One thing that's worth bearing in mind as we talk about security, personal internet security, personal Web3 security, whatever, is that you can never be 100% safe and secure. And the single best thing that you can do is be aware of that fact and just always be vigilant.
Yeah.
You will never, I don't care who you are, Skull Elf, I'm sure, would tell you the same thing. You can never be 100% secure. And if you're interacting with anything out there, be 100% certain that there is no way you can be tampered with. But you can always be careful, and you can always be vigilant, and you can always double check. And so as long as you do that, that is about as safe as you can get.
Yeah, Dave, did you have any other tips, questions, good jokes, words of wisdom, thoughts that brought you up here today?
Let's see. I'm looking through my tools on my browser right now, and
Ooh, he's got browser tools.
Oh yeah, they're everything is linked by folders and.
Dude, side note, that would be
no,
a great segment with like just to pull people like Dave or Neil or whatever up and just be like, let's go through like your, what's your dashboard setup?
Yeah,
Like,
or like what tool are you using? Yeah.
yeah, like
That
what
would
are
be
you
good.
what are you rocking in the plugin department?
What's your setup, bro?
Oh no, that's great. There are so many different tools out there that are useful for whatever you're looking to do. It just
Yeah.
research.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
It's like those everyday
sniping
carry
or-
videos
Yeah.
with those guys that pretend that they carry 18 magazines to the grocery store, along with their tactical pen and their watch and their phone holster and all of those things. Like
Tactical pen.
Like let's do the nerd version of that and like flex our browser setups and plug in dashboards. Sorry, Dave.
Tell me you're insufferable at dinner parties without telling me you're insufferable at dinner parties. This is my tactical pen.
Oh my god, that's the worst.
No hate if you got a tactical pen. I have a tactical pen. Like one of those that you
Dude,
can break a
I
window
have
with.
the most tactical pen, but it's tactical in the way that it has a bubble level, a stylus, a small ruler. You can take it
What
apart
a
and there's like
nerd.
little screwdrivers inside. Hey, my sister got me that. And then, dude, look at this one. This one has
He's got multiple.
it's a little screen cleaning spray bottle, so it has a little deal. And
You
then,
use it
dude,
on your glasses when you're writing. Like
you can't make this up. It has a retractable brush to clean your fine electronics. Dude, you can't make this up. If you're not watching the YouTube stream, you're just doing it wrong. And then of course, bottle opener, another ruler, more screwdrivers inside, pen light. Dude, that's as tactical as it gets in the pen department. Anyway, I steamrolled Dave real hard, so my apologies.
sorry, brother.
No, all good. I got a tactical pen too, but mine's not nearly as fleshed out as Alex's. I need to look into that, I guess.
Gotta up your pen game.
I'll send you a link.
Yeah, I do. Perfect.
So stick around, keep going with this, brother. But I got to get to Neil because he's like sitting over there, he's using a tactical pen to like scrape his brain to get all this gunk we're leaving there off it. What's going on, Neil? Are you making it this morning? How you been, brother?
I hope my audio is not too bad. I'm driving through a rainstorm right now.
Hey, you're good. It's soothing.
So my auntie is number one is Lisa. If I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I ask Lisa. She is kind of my gatekeeper to security because she's the most paranoid person that I know.
Can confirm.
If Lisa
Lisa
doesn't
is
respond
totally
back to me in 10 minutes, then I'll usually go to our general chat in Discord or possibly a DM to Alex, whatnot. So, yes, I think a EDC Web3 should be a series. Absolutely.
Dude, that's brilliant. We have to do that. We got to make a note of that. That's
EDC Web3. What's EDC?
EDC everyday carry. What's your
Everyday
go-to
carry.
like equipment kit for operating in Web3? I like that idea.
And I always knew, and I like my founders to be, the nerdy side. But Alex, your description of that pen, you're clearly in first place right now. So. Jesus.
Yeah. I know, right?
So I give you all these accolades, and then I do have to call you out on something as well.
Like it.
The Faceless Many and Faceless Labs do not have blue check marks. So add that to the overhead.
Yeah.
Well, Neil, it sounds like you're excited to make a gift in the amount of $9.99 a month to Elon Musk on Faceless Labs' behalf. Is that right? How many boxes can I put you down for?
Come on down.
Well, isn't there the gold check mark as well for the verified businesses? And I think those run you like 10 grand a month.
Jesus.
Is that all?
Yeah. So, anyways, love you guys.
We love you too, man.
Oh, man.
We love you too. Wow.
You serious? They pay 10 grand a month for that gold check?
Dude, that's
Yeah,
nuts.
I've heard it's around at least 10 grams.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Whoa.
Incredible.
A month? Man. Well,
Come on, you guys got that right? No
Yeah.
problem. Easy.
I mean, yeah, but you know,
I mean, hey, that's
Gotta
one way.
sell
Like,
20 more NFT collections.
yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
yeah, boy, do I
well-
have something
well-
new to pitch you.
Yeah,
Faceless
right.
apes.
Wait. Yeah, exactly. It's called checks, but hear me out. The utility is we actually get a check. Oh my God. If you're listening to the show, I want to take a quick moment to pause and make good on a promise we made in the start of the show, which is that if you'd like to claim your very own, yes, your very own POAP featuring collectible artwork of the Faceless Minis, you can do it with this second part of the secret word. Put it together with the first part of the secret word, all lowercase, no spaces that you heard in the first half of the show. That is expert. 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 You can claim your POAPs now at the Faceless bot in our Discord. And I would challenge you. I would say, hey, if you claim it, zoom in a little bit on those little Faceless Minis and just let us kind of know which is your favorite. Take a little screenshot and post it. Speculate about the traits. These are free to claim for TFM holders. Just our way of saying thanks for being awesome. Check out this cool, cute little PFP and, rock it. That's how we roll.
Yeah, I'm very excited
Oh, Mini.
for Neil to start zooming into this thing.
Yeah, me too. Neil, what you got? You got your hand
Neil's our most prolific zoomer in
yeah, we've trained him well.
in all things. I can't post anything without him zooming into it to see what could possibly be lurking in there.
Yeah, spoiler alert, there's no puzzle yet. Go ahead, Neil.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. A little bit of feedback. Alex sounds like he's 30 feet away from the microphone.
He was a little quiet for me too.
Dang it.
Maybe give it a little more sauce, brother.
Okay.
Go ahead, say your ABCs while you're tweaking.
Is this
By
making
show of emoji.
any kind of
Go ahead.
improvement? Is it getting any better? No.
Yeah, crank it up. Pom pom pom.
I mean, it's cranked.
It
This
sounds
is
almost
max.
like it almost sounds like it's computer audio instead of like microphone audio. You know what I'm saying? Like it sounds like you're out here kind of. It's like what it sounds like. I don't know if that's what it sounds like for you listening at home, but I tried to approximate it.
Has it? Oh my God, Evan.
Have you been using the computer mic the whole time?
Evan, no. Oh my God.
What's wrong?
Yeah. Son of a bitch. Is this better?
It sounds crisper, but you're still kind of quiet.
How about, are we good now?
Oh, yeah. Now you're getting a little hotter. I would say go up 1 or 2 more notches if you have the ability to do so.
It helps when the input is, I'm a professional, I promise. This is what I do.
Now you're sounding crispy, man. Now you're sounding crispy.
How am I, it's only been 54 minutes of a 1 hour show. So
listen, man,
we're doing
great. You sounded good to me. Neil's giving you the thumbs up now. Better late than never, baby. We're early. That's what they're always saying. We're literally early. What more could you ask for?
Oh
Now,
boy.
I think we've gotten to most of our questions. I do want to say, if you got a question, that's the theme today. We're talking about blockchain basics, all the stuff that you maybe are a little embarrassed to ask, you feel left out of, you never thought to ask. If you want to try and stump us, you can ask. I think Neil is trying to stump us right here with liquid staking. But I'm set to talk about that. And in the meantime, if that's you got a stumper, you got a question, you hesitate to answer at a dinner party, or just something you've always wanted to know about blockchain, NFTs, cryptocurrency, we would love to answer your questions. And if we don't know the answer, we'll tell you. We're not here for that, I don't know what you'd call it, that snake oil show stuff. If you're listening to people like that who are going to answer questions that they don't know the answer to, you better go and follow them right now. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You yoo-hoo.
Yeah, I was going to say,
yoo-hoo.
Whatchamacallit, liquid staking is definitely not something I can have a lengthy conversation about, but the general idea we can
I
cover.
think Yeah, you know more than you think you do about this, Alex, because the first time I ever saw anything like this was Polkadot. When they did their parachains, and you could stake your Polkadot, and then you could get that. I don't remember what they called the token, but it was essentially a liquid staking derivative so that you could lock up your crypto.
Yeah.
And then without having to withdraw it from the staking pool, you got another token. In the case that Neil's asking about, it's STETH, staked ETH, which represents your staked asset.
Right.
So that, yeah, it's still staked, it's still there, but you can go do DeFi stuff with this. It's like a DeFi coupon that represents your staked money. But what was it on Polkadot? Do you remember? My Polkadot is still locked up, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of what they gave you back. That one was a little bit different because it depended on which of the auctions you were participating in. And so for those who may not be familiar with what Evan's talking about, when Polkadot was delegating to whom the parachain slots would go to, because there was a finite number, there were different protocols. One of the winners was Moon River or Moonbeam, the Kusama Polkadot. And
honestly, just real quick, Polkadot, if you're like already lost, another layer 1 blockchain network, just like Ethereum.
Layer 0.
This is an initiative. Oh yeah, layer 0. Yeah, that's good to be technical. Go ahead, please continue.
Yeah, sorry. So Polkadot functions in a similar way to Ethereum, wherein their goal is to have people come to them and build on their platform. The difference being, oh my God, that instead of, I swear I'll figure that shutter thing out. That is the most obnoxious thing. For those of you watching on YouTube, every 30 minutes my shutter closes on the camera for some reason, and it's the one setting I just can't find. I was in there for like 30 minutes yesterday trying to find it, couldn't do it. But anyway, on Ethereum, when someone builds there, they build or they launch and run a protocol on Ethereum, but they're not actually building like a chain or whatever. On Polkadot, the idea is that they would the builder would take one of these parachain slots, a parallel blockchain to the main relay chain, the main Polkadot chain, and build their own chain upon which protocols could be launched. So Moonbeam, Moon River is kind of like its own little chain with different DeFi apps on it. It gets more and more convoluted the deeper you go. But anyway, to pick who won those slots, you sent your DOT in to vote in support of the one that you wanted to win the auction or the slot, and whoever could get the most DOT staked, Polkadot's native coin, they would win the slot. And so you had to lock your DOT up in there for the duration of the auction. And then if successful, they would then pay you back at the end with your DOT returned to you, in addition to some of the native token for the project that you were supporting, like Glimmer for Moonbeam and Moon River. So
I think it's fantastic explanation. And in the context of Ethereum, ETH is a proof of stake chain now. It used, and now the mechanism by which transactions are verified is different. So users can stake their Ethereum tokens, their Ether tokens, to earn rewards as well as, secure the network. And right now, your staked ETH cannot be unstaked until they complete their next upgrade. It's called Shanghai. They anticipate they're going to do it in March. And so that ETH is just locked up. It's unaccessible capital. So liquid staking solves this problem, again, by allowing users to get what is called a liquid stake derivative token for their staked ETH that they can use in DeFi. And liquid staking providers like Lido, they offer their staking services and take like a 5 to 10% fee. But the strategy that people are using is you can earn money on your staked ETH. You can go do DeFi stuff with your staked ETH token. I said staked ETH token. You've got your ETH, which is staked. Then you get this staked ETH token, this liquid staking derivative that you can do DeFi stuff with. And when I say do DeFi stuff, I mean you can lend it to a platform or protocol. You can swap it for another token that you can stake. And staking just means putting your crypto up for someone else to use and earn a fee on it. generally speaking. I would recommend, if you want to read about this, CoinGecko put out a really good article, and I'll see if I can't post it in our comments right here. Another resource I would recommend is our friend Jeff the Dunker. He talks about it a lot on TikTok right now, and he's talking about it a lot on Twitter too. His profile is, I don't know if it's a green Jeff. I'll find it here. But I love Jeff.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, so watch the comments here. Yeah, it's at Jeff the Dunker. I can't say enough good things about Jeff.
The other good spot that definitely has little blurbs about all of these different things, pardon me, is coinbase.com/learn. They have really good, very easy to follow, helpful little pro tips. It's all free. You don't need an account on the platform in order to read any of the Learn resources either, which is awesome.
That's a beautiful point, my friend. Learn as you earn. What an innovative concept. I wish more people did it.
For real. Yeah, it was cool, especially since one of the little tokens that I most recently got from a Coinbase Learn and Earn quiz just rocketed not that long ago. I mean, they only give you a few bucks with it, but that like $3 turned into like $20, which was pretty cool. I can't remember the name of whatever it was, but I opened it up one day. I was like, oh damn, look at that. It exploded.
Yeah. I will say, as with any crypto thing and any money thing, there are risks with this. If you can get liquidated. There is no free lunch. There's no free money. If you take this staked ETH and leverage it to the max, you're going to owe someone some money. You're going to have to pay it back. I would say before you start playing around with this kind of stuff, as with anything, you got to do a little learning. And this CoinGecko article, I didn't post it yet. My apologies. It's a good place to start. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Here's our show. Dave, Neil, do you have any thoughts on this while you're here, brothers? Or Neil, did I answer your question well?
Good enough, yes.
What questions do you still have?
Oh, nothing. Jeff the Dunker is completely level 10 degen. That's here. I'm a huge fan of him and his TikTok account, but if you ever have had a chance to catch him outside of TikTok on a Twitter space, which is extremely rare, one of the smartest dudes in crypto. His TikTok account is his TikTok account, but you get him on a Twitter space or on a one-on-one, dude is a wealth of knowledge. But no, thank you for answering the question.
Yeah, you're welcome. He actually has a Discord server too, which is not terribly active in terms of like overrun by people. It's kind of a best kept secret. You can find it if you do a little searching on his Twitter profile at Jeff, Jeff, the Dunker, as in Jeff forgot how to lay up. He only dunks. And like Neil said, if you see him on TikTok, you'll see what I'm talking about. He's out here dunking on him every day.
I vividly remember his very first TikTok video that he posted. It was basically the equivalent of him like kicking in the door and just being like, all right, everyone's an idiot. All of this information is wrong. Here's the shit. And then he just proceeded to dunk.
He proceeded to dunk. It's satire, so take it with a grain of salt and find the knowledge in it because it's good. I do want to point out real quick, we've already got some people commenting with their Faceless Many. Bobby has found, I'm going to give you a little alpha, one of my favorite traits in this collection, and it's kind of grainy, so you got to zoom in on it. But Kaio, this is at the top of the Twitter space. I've got a picture pinned. And it's of one of the Faceless Minis that's in today's POAP. And on his wall in the background, he's got a little shelf with some little action figures on it. Yes, and they're some figures you might recognize. I see the guide. I see a zombie action figure. And I see the Heliomancer with his big old wing spread on the little shelf behind this guy. He just wants to be like his Faceless Many heroes. Isn't that so cute?
That's a good one.
Oh, and did you see this? David said about microphones when he was on our show a couple weeks ago. His mic was backwards, So he had to switch, and he only realized after we hung up. So hey, man.
One of these days, I mean,
If it was
easier to turn around and show the setup, it's pretty epic right now. There's, you can see the mic stand right here, but then phone is on a gimbal right here with the Twitter Space up. Although I was thinking, Evan, I think next time I'll forego the Twitter Space on my phone and I'll just put it on TikTok and just have the, little like kick over or whatever, because be a lot more eyes over there.
Yeah, are they going to be able to hear the conversation? Or are they just going to watch you talking and then nothing?
Yes, the idea would. I mean, I could have it to where you were just coming out of the speakers instead and whatever, and then yeah, sure, they could hear everything. But the idea there just being like give people the link. Because like I said, I've been a little fallen out of sorts with my TikTok content lately.
Is that
so
right?
Evan, Mac, and I had a challenge with ourselves to set ourselves a goal. We did it on New Year's Day, and if at the end of a week we didn't meet the goal, we owed the other ones $25. Kind of keep us accountable. And so all of us set our goals, and we all accomplished all of them for the entire month. So mine was to post a minimum of 1 video a day, minimum of 7 a week, every day for the entire month of January. And I exceeded that every single week, with some weeks going between like 9 and 13 videos. And not only did not a single one of them, not a single one. So anyone who tells you that if you just post a bunch and you like try to make informed content and you like, do a nice job, that, eventually one of them's going to go, full of shit. So throughout the month of January, I probably posted 50 to 55 videos. Not only did not a single one of them crack like 3,000 views, which for me was pretty low. I was net negative on followers for the month, lost more than I got, so I was like, why am I spending, like, I have so many things to do. Why am I spending this much time? And trust me, like, I've listened to all of the Gary Vee stuff, about like, try it for this long, try this many different things. And once you've done this X times, you're allowed to say that this is officially not working. And then it might be time to pivot and experiment with something else, but you have to give it the honest effort. I mean, I've posted close to 1,000 videos on TikTok, and it's just like,
wow, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
dang, man.
Yeah. So I think I'm qualified to say that, like, I've tried, and I'm not going to like stop. Like, I'll just keep putting stuff up. It's just not my focus. I would rather put more energy into the show, into, making this a better and better experience. Okay. Willem is here now. Willem, 2 things.
Yeah. Did you see
One,
that? I was going to say, when you had a moment, say hi to your friend down there.
Yeah,
and my friend too. Friend of the
Willem,
show, Mr.
the incomparable
Willem.
machine, the mastermind behind building the Syndicate games that so many of us love. But yeah, so this is new, Willem. This is only the second time that Evan and I have broadcast the show on the YouTube stream, but it is now a part of the Rise Up Morning Show, so it will be a regular thing. And then also, can we just agree to pretend that this isn't a thing, please, for my sanity?
Away. Oh,
dude,
man. Let me tell you, if you're on the Twitter Space, you're really missing a treat, because Alex and I have some great technical errors that are for your enjoyment and our embarrassment. Alex had for about 3 weeks this new camera and couldn't get rid of these like crosshairs on his face. It looked like he was had a sniper.
The autofocus reticle just would not leave me alone. And Evan, I counted yesterday. There are 18 different autofocus modes inside this camera, and you have to disable all of them to get all of that away. And you have to disable them in more than one place. And it was incredible. But yeah, so now apparently I just have this red flashing thing above my head in the corner of the video. And the second it popped up, I was like, I've never seen that icon before. I have no idea what this is. At least we're near the end of the show. And
yeah, right. We're learning too, is the moral of the story. Even us, unflappable us, and maybe that's less of a surprise. Yeah, right. Learning every day. And Willem, if you want to come up and roast Alex a little bit, I think that would be welcome. If you've got a question or a tip, the topic of the day is blockchain basics. We had Skull Elf on a minute ago talking a little about security, And we're probably, I think, going to keep it going. He's going to come back on Friday. We're kind of wrapping things up here, but your input is so valued and so welcome, especially if you're going to drop a little roast about Alex. I'm here for it every day. You know. Oh, look, there you go. Look at that. He's got a new display, people.
No, it's gone.
Talk about crypto. We talk about blockchain. We talk about the gaffes the other one makes. It's all in love. It's all in fun. And here he comes.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, monsters and machines, people and creatures of all ages, I give you the one, the only architect of the Syndicate games. His wheel is still connecting, so I will keep speaking until he's here.
How long can
Willem.
Evan keep this up? An extremely long time.
Right, aka the machine. Welcome to the stage, brother. How you doing today?
Oh, good, thanks. I just thought it was quite funny how everything went dead quiet there for a second. And also, I'm never going to turn down the opportunity to give Alex a bit of a ride. I mean, come on, it's just so easy.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just
boy.
keep it going. What's your favorite thing to pick on Alex about? I'm finding I love picking on him about his tactical pen.
It didn't really sit right with me.
I'm sorry, what doesn't sit right with you?
Pen.
Yeah, look at these. I'm joking because they're pretty badass, dude. He's got a ruler on one of them. He's got a bottle opener on
They
one of
both
them.
have
Did you
rulers,
know
Evan.
they made pens with bottle? Oh, they both have rulers.
Oh, well, there's nothing wrong with a pen with a bottle opener. I mean, come on. Everyone needs multiple bottle openers.
Yeah, honestly. I'm surprised I didn't think of that. I hope the guy who thought of that is rich. The guy, the gal, the person. I hope they're rich.
Oh,
Better be.
you think that's bad? I bought a slops years ago and it had a bottle opener on the bottom, which is funny until you need to open your beer bottle and you've stepped in dog crap.
I was gonna say that seems highly impractical.
You don't remember those, Evan? Did you not see
I've
those?
completely
No.
taken the topic.
Oh my god, it's the staple footwear of frat bros everywhere for early
What?
2000s. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. If you're listening and you got a pair of these things, I need a picture. Go
They're-
ahead,
they're
whether you're listening now or in the future, post it.
The reef sandals. I
Neil
think they were
thumbing
called.
it down.
The reef. Listen, Neil is perma bullish on unconventional footwear. The dude has exactly one thing that he wears. I gotta see Neil. I gotta see the shoes. I gotta see what's on your feet. You're bearish on
Feet
slippers.
pics.
You're bearish on Crocs. You're bearish on the reef sandals.
Yeah, what is he
Striking out.
wearing? I don't
Nobody
know.
knows.
I'm extremely modest as it comes to my footwear in terms of their utility. I'm extremely extravagant when it comes to styling of the pair. So I have 2 pairs of fluorescent yellow shoes. I have a pair of fluorescent pink running gym shoes as well. But then when I'm in my white collar Web 2 environment, you know, your basic dress shoes, deck shoes. Yeah, don't send me off on a Croc slipper rant. That's a whole nother space.
I got to be honest. I did not see that coming. The fluorescent. I mean, I think that's cool. You earned a little extra. I love you, Neil, but that's like cool. I got some bright orange shoes. We could go out together and make a scene, man. I'll trade you an orange shoe for a pink shoe. What's your size?
Full disclosure: Evan's shoes are 400 years old.
Oh yeah, dude. Holes, big time. And definitely, if you're worried about slippers, like putting your feet in slippers, I have washed these. I have had these shoes so long that I have washed them multiple times. That's how old they are, if that tells you anything. They're almost as old as me. I mean, if we're being honest. Willem, what else you got for us, brother? Or Neil, are you going to take me up on my offer?
No, I do have a question for Willem.
Oh, you do?
I know the relationship, the relationship between him and Alex is pretty tight, but
Yeah.
I was curious on the number of times that Alex reaches out to Willem just, you know, with kind of a help emoji or I don't know what I'm doing emoji. How frequently does that happen? Is that daily, hourly, or is it just a weekly occurrence?
I'm going with 2 to 3 times a day.
Yeah,
It's not as bad as that.
it's and I'll
No,
say
I
a
normally,
lot more
I normally
likely.
find when I can't sleep, it's because he's playing with something.
Yeah, it's more of a Tathic thing, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, it's more of a like, Willem, I just had a great idea, and he's just like, no, go away. We've got enough ideas.
Yeah.
I
normally
my
I wake up
infamous
pretty early because I have young kids. But
True,
every
yeah.
morning I wake up with just when you have time, and it's like 4:30 in the morning for me. And I'm thinking, yeah, when I have time, that'll be nice when I'm 80.
Oh my
that
gosh.
is that is
No
probably
lush of this.
my go-to cold open for Willem. Hey, if you get
Yeah.
a sec, or Willem, I have a question. Like the other day, I sent him a video of someone playing Oregon Trail on like an archaic desktop computer, and I just cold sent him the video with zero context and was like, I have a question. And then I forgot to send him a follow-up. So he's like,
For
what?
6 hours. Eventually, I was like, what the hell are you actually talking about?
Now, for anybody who doesn't know, everybody listening probably knows this, but if you're listening in the future and you're like, what are these guys talking about? The Syndicate games are, of course, the game we're iterating via our Discord server for the Corrupted NFT. It's an opportunity to play a PvP strategy game with NFT game pieces and different kinds of on-chain rewards. You can earn experience for on-chain actions. You can pick on your friends because you're just kicking their butts. It evolves over time. Different traits that the NFTs have in their metadata are differently advantaged. There are different benefits. It's a lot of fun. And I do have to ask you guys, I have a bone to pick about it. If you want to check it out, it's in our Discord server at the link in our bio. A lot of fun to play. But I have a notification problem. I have clicked that quiet logs button once or twice or 3 times a lady, and still I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm thinking about what I got to do for work, and I get like 12 notifications rapid fire, and I'm like, oh no, they've burned down Faceless Labs, and it's just a Syndicate game.
I got you.
So what you have to do, first of all, we can't turn that off for you because you are an architect in the server. You've got full server roles. So everyone else has the ability to turn it off. You're going to have to suck it up. Okay?
So I'm going to have to either really get fired.
Just joking.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. Basically what you do is you right click on those channels and you go mute, and you make sure that there are no just right click and mute and say mute forever. And
that's beautiful. I love the Syndicate games, but I was real sad about I did the bot, I did the whatever.
It is one of those things, Evan, too, that as a server admin, you're going to get a lot more stuff than most other people have to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. So let that be a commercial for you to know that if you want to play the Syndicate games, it'll be even more enjoyable than it is for someone like me. And I'm on the inside, You'd think I'd have an advantage here, but I really don't. Come kick my butt in the Syndicate games, only in the Faceless Many Discord. Speaking
of which, we should shout out real quick that we're going to have a short Twitter space this evening.
That's right.
At 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What UTC? What
6 p.m. is 12 a.m. UTC.
Okay. Yeah, so we're just wrapping up the season. So season 4 is coming to an end tonight, and we're going to close it out, have a little Twitter space, and watch the final fights roll in, and officially crown the newest Syndicate, at which time we'll roll into the next sandbox and get some stuff, start getting the pieces in order for season 5. So
Alex,
I'll have an announcement out about that after.
And can you, Dave had a thread the other day that was really great, talking about the Faceless Many. He shared the trailer video for our initial collection. He had not seen it before, and you said, "Have you seen the Corrupted trailer?" And I know you followed up with our sort of greatest hits video. If you're watching the stream on StreamYard, you can go right to our profile and look for the playlist, Our Story, to see kind of a quick narrative history of the Faceless Many, the Corrupted, the Syndicate games, to get up to speed with what we're talking about, because before anything else, we are a movement. We're not just an NFT project. We are a community that is leveraging the power of blockchain technology to lead a financial revolution and rise up together. And what does that look like? It looks like this. It's not just video games and Starbucks gift cards and cute digital pictures. It really is kind of the secret alpha to find yourself a community of people who are not trying to sell you anything, who all ask good questions, who all share what they know, and they accelerate their learning journey together. That's my real alpha for you. If you want to get better at security, you want to get better at blockchain or anything, is get your tribe. And if you don't have a tribe, listen, you are one of the Faceless Many, whether or not you hold one of our NFTs, and our doors are so open to you. You can come on the show, pick our brains. You can come in the Discord, pick our brains. We're here.
Always.
That's what I got. Do you happen to have it, Alex? I
have to admit that I think one thing that people don't do enough is be secure in general on blockchain. Because it's so unregulated, there's so many things that can go wrong. So I think people need to focus on it a lot more. And between a lot of different people on the Elrond or the multiverse ecosystem in general, I do think that Skull's someone that more people need to reach out to. He's exceptionally good and exceptionally honest. So
yeah,
really do reach out and have a chat with him about stuff like that.
Yeah, this is a dude who could do serious damage if he was so inclined. And the very first time that I ever interacted with him, he reached out to let me know that there was an issue with, I think was it Rev Points marketplace related? I think originally was the first thing, and he had found some sort of an exploit that was possible. Okay. And basically he was just like, hey, this is an issue. You should fix this. And I was like, oh, snap. All right, awesome. Let me get some more information. He wrote me a beautifully written bug report, sent it to me. He didn't ask for anything in return. And then he proceeded to sit down with our devs and walk them through the steps needed to patch it and fix it, and made a friend right then and there. The dude is a treasure trove of knowledge, and he doesn't ask for anything in return from anybody when giving security tips and feedback. Genuinely just wants people to be safer online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Willem, I know it's later for you, like not an ideal time to join the Friday show, which is like T-minus 4.5 hours from this moment in time, or 3.5, I guess. But we want to have you back too to share more about what you might have as tips for a beginner. I think we're probably going to wrap it up here in a second, but today, if you have any other kind of final thoughts, tips, good joke, words of wisdom, we want to hear them. But dude, obviously it goes without saying that you are welcome anytime, and your knowledge is extremely valuable to us, and we'd love to share it, to give it a platform. And I would love to see you and Skull Elf, because I feel like not only would you have a valuable conversation, but you also would probably have a really funny banter. I just have a feeling.
Oh no, we banter daily.
Yeah.
And I mean daily. I think I talk to him about as much as I talk to Alex.
I'm so sorry.
For context, that's a lot.
We are. No, I don't have anything else really on the go at the moment. But yeah, so you say the next one's in what, 4.5 hours?
But on Friday.
I'll be.
It's
on Friday. 9 o'clock Friday. Funny enough, I think my wife's going out on a late now, so I'll probably be free.
Okay, because Skull Elf's going to come back. I would love to make it a, the friends of the show roundtable, and we can sit back and you guys can just talk, and every now and then we'll, I'll try and say something clever and hope it works.
Love it.
That'd be great.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll see if I can make it.
Cool. Dave, Neil, what about you guys? Do you have any final thoughts, good jokes, words of wisdom, security tips for the folks back home?
Did I just get disconnected?
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected there.
Oh, no, you're okay. I was just asking, looks like DB Crypto had to step away. But Neil, do you have any final thoughts on the topic of security, of shoes, super cool friends, anything?
No, I'm driving through a torrential downpour right now, so my brain's a little scattered and my knuckles are a little white, but awesome show as
Fair.
usual. Thanks a lot, guys.
Hey, man, be safe. Thank you for being here. Alex, what about you, brother? Do you have a final thought for the day?
I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling good.
Satiated.
Yeah, well met, in other words.
Mm-hmm.
Evan, I just had it as I obviously just got underneath the cloud. Why is it that when people have non-American accents and are talking about security tips, they seem more trustworthy? I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's that much, if that's my brain, but I would take whatever Skull F and Willem have to say to the grave in terms of security, while I may not have that same confidence if I hear that from an American accent.
So you're telling me if I walked in, I was talking to you like this about what you should do with your wallet, you wouldn't be inclined to take my advice?
Yeah, I'm gonna have personal biases against that accent.
Hey, man. I don't know. I had a friend who did a lot of research on dialect. He was from Southern Ohio, and he sounded like he was from like a swamp in I don't know what southern part of the world. He'd be like, "Hey guys, I'm from Ohio," and he was an incredibly intelligent person, and really just had to fight his dialect to make it known. Like people, you just heard him talk, and you had to say, you said to yourself, like, "Oh man, this guy's so dumb." But you know, he was smart, just his dialect.
People definitely get predisposed to, you know, a particular assumption with regards to an accent here or an accent there or whatever. I know that like when I was younger, and I have no idea why this is the case, because most of my family, on all my father's entire family, everyone has an accent, including my father. So it was, I don't know where it came from, but I was just always like peeved by English accents, and it very abruptly just kind of stopped being a problem for me. I don't really know what it is. I have no idea. It was like, you know, the inverse of it was an acquired taste for me, I guess. Couldn't tell you why. But then, yeah, recently, same thing with Southern accents. And I grew up in Tennessee, so a lot of my friends had the twang. I started to get the twang, and I think that's when my parents were like, I think it's time to move, and we went to Michigan. But of course, I mean, my wife has an accent. She sounds like what you would imagine a Canadian to sound like. She's from the UP, northern Michigan. So whole lot of A's and bags and all that kind of stuff.
Eggs,
very, very Midwest, just, you know, Canadian plus Midwest. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think at this point, I just love collecting friends with different accents, because that listening to that like symphony of all of the different dialects and vernaculars and learning people's individual colloquialisms and stuff from all the different parts of the world. I love it. Willem's got some great ones.
Yeah.
I was thinking, Christina, I thought she might still be listening, so I had to throw in a dig about her being a Uber, and there she is.
You know, there is research on this, and I want to say I can Google this. There's a communications researcher called Shah, S-H-A-H, A.P. Shah. I remember reading a pretty comprehensive study about why certain accents are judged the way they are and how. And the two takeaways that I remember without looking it up are, in America, Northern accents are most commonly classified as smart, whereas Southern accents are most commonly classified as nice. The smartest sounding dialect in a sample of like 10 or 12 regional and international dialects was received pronunciation, which is what we would call the Queen's English. Very nice. How do you do? That kind of thing. Put the car in the garage. I just think if you talk like that, you know, I don't know. You sound like you eat doilies for breakfast.
Well, and to me, that is a like, and this is so not fair. So I apologize, because it's just a stupid inherent, I guess, whatever, my dumb opinion.
It's okay, man. We've outed ourselves as accent bigots today.
To me, it sounds pretentious in the same way that someone, I don't know. It's not, I don't know if it's the accent. This would be a great topic of conversation, Evan, because I know that you know a lot more about this, being an actor and practicing all these kinds of things, and then depending on performances and whatever, having to have done them, learned them, listened to them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know how much of an accent or a dialect is I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this, is reflected in intonation and inflection, not just like specific sounds,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And I guess my example would be emphasis put on different parts of words is like so different in Southeast Asia. Like when you listen to someone who is Vietnamese or something like that speak, the emphasis goes on very different parts of words than I would be used to putting emphasis on, or different parts of sentences that, like, to me, trying to listen to inflection to discern what's being talked about, it would throw me off to listen to that kind of thing. And I find that all incredibly fascinating.
Okay, so since you broached it, I have to give you the quick answer, which is that
please.
Every dialect is comprised of two basic components, but then there are other subcomponents. The two components are placement, meaning where does the resonance occur for the speaker? For example, if you're from Eastern Europe, you talk like in your throat, back of your throat. But if you're English, it's very much at the front of your mouth. Even if I don't do the substitutions, which is the second part, replacing certain sounds with other certain sounds, even if I speak like an American person, I still sound English because I'm putting the resonance in the front of my mouth. If you put the resonance in the right place, that's step one, to make you sound like a native to a particular area. And step two is substitutions. So a comparison example, if I was this very, very, very snooty English person, I might say car, like the automobile I drive, car. But if I was Jamaican, I might also say car, but it's like a different place. Car, car. You know what I mean? It's a lower resonance. It's deeper in my mouth, and it's the same substitution. So those are the two basic ones. But then, of course, as you say, there's emphasis, there's rhythm.
Yeah.
And I find that the best part of a truly great dialect for a performer or somebody who's attempting to sound very real is to be, I don't know, to be particular and different. Everybody's dialect is different, even if they're neighbors. You know what I mean? Yeah. And on stage, sometimes you make your dialect a little clearer. For English speakers, you don't go all the way. Hey, you don't want to be a full Scot, and nobody understands what you're saying. You make it clearer, but I like those accents that are kind of muddy and kind of particular. I love, like, for example, many people from South Africa, like our friend Willem, our friend Vanessa, Elon, whatever, there are such different flavors, but I love melodic kind of accents like that. It's almost like a song. Irish people have a song accent too, sort of. That's a, tone.
Way more so than the accent that I love hearing about from different people, are just colloquialisms, things that people say just very commonplace in different parts of the world that, like, we wouldn't say, especially when they are native English speakers, but with a different accent. Yeah. I just get a huge kick out of that. And that love was born from doing Model UN, because obviously it's a very common extracurricular for an international student base. So, like, we would always get, the students from around the world who would join Model UN, and it just attracts that kind of mind. So whenever we were at conferences or whatever, I was at one at University of Toronto, and one of my friends from Guelph University was just a very, very proper English guy. And we had a whole evening with, spirits, shall we say. So post-conference, everyone drinks heavily. And he was just giving us, like, the ultimate rundown on, like, British slang. And I just remember thinking, like, God, this is the best. And so we were just trading back and forth. Like, what would you say if someone was blah or whatever? And I just remember thinking, like, God, this is hilarious. These are, like, because I do the same thing with my cousins, because they're native German speakers, and they're all brilliant. But between the three of them, they speak probably 6 or 7 other languages. And so we would do the whole, round robin, like, what about, because they lived in Germany, lived in Switzerland, lived in the Czech Republic, lived in Greece, all that sort of stuff. And so they have, like, little bits of the mixed bag of sayings and idioms and all that sort of stuff from all over the place. Super cool.
Yeah. Willem just came back up to the stage. I don't know if you fell off, brother, or if you dropped off. What do you got for us? A note about dialect, or did you just come to say something pretty and poetic in your beautiful voice?
Yeah, sorry, I fell off.
That's okay. It happens.
No, I fell off because the connection died on my end. That's what you get for living in the arse end of nowhere. But how the hell the different, what do you call it? Accents. Jeez, how did you get that right?
How did I get what right?
The ability to change your voice so much.
Oh, honestly, if you want to do it, some people have, an ear for it. They can listen. But like I said, at its basic, a dialect is two things. It's where in your body, the instrument of your body, the sound is. Like right now, you can hear the sound is really coming out of the top of my mouth and the front of my face. It's a very like Michigan northern thing. If I was to shift the sound to a different part of my body, my accent changes. I can shift it to different places. I'm using pitch differently. And then the other part is substitution of sounds. And if you want to practice this, there's a tool called the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA. Just Google IPA accents. Speech therapists use this. And it is an accent, it's a language where each phoneme, meaning the smallest unit of sound, is represented by a symbol. And you can write in this language such that as it is read, the pronunciation is clear. So like the word stop would be written differently than the word stop or the word stop in the IPA. And the different symbols tell you how to pronounce the word. So you can use that kind of visual reminder to train yourself to read in a different dialect. And that's how I did it. I in my first career, I took a lot of voice lessons. I read a lot of IPA, and I took different roles that allowed me to work on different dialects. And I love, that's one of my favorite parts of the actor's journey. How a person speaks or the culture they're part of comes out so much in who they are. So, that's my very basic Betty bit of it. You can do this though if you have a good ear. Just practice.
I don't. I'm going deaf and I'm half blind, so unlikely.
Hey man, I'll just walk around with you, and you can program some buttons on my wrist or something, and I'll just
Evan,
shrimp on the bobby, shrimp on the bobby. Yeah. I don't know. I know that our listeners were not expecting that today, but I do want to say thank you for giving us grace and coming along on this wild and crazy journey with us.
I think it's fair to say that post second POAP clue, the gloves are off.
It's off. That's
right. If you're still here with us, we're gonna have some fun, get a little more personal, and who knows what the hell we're gonna talk about. But,
yeah, that's exactly right. So thank you for being friends of the show, being our friends, asking us questions. I think it's safe to say we're gonna do this again. We'll have Skull Elf Friday. Willem has already said he's coming back, so we're bringing him back. We've got Syndicate Game stuff tonight. Alex, plug it one more time. Where can they catch up with that? It's going to be streamed.
Yeah, I'm gonna. If you're in Discord, you'll see and hear. You'll see all of it. We're just gonna, I think, probably blow up General or the Legion chat. I'm not sure which one, the two different main chat channels, but I'll throw a Twitter space up at 6:30, which is in what's that, 9 hours from right now. So yeah, it's informal. This is fun. We're closing out the season. We're going to crown a new syndicate. So we're going to watch the last few fights roll in. We're going to see who. Yeah, I know that this season we have a lot more like locked in. It is still theoretically possible for some people to shift some places around, all that sort of stuff. But last season we had a syndicate upset like within the last couple minutes of the season.
It was an exciting ender.
Yeah, it was very cool. So we're just gonna, I'll probably give some stuff away, because why the hell not? So if you're around, if you're a fan of the games, if you're a corrupted holder, we'll be live in just under 9 hours, right here on the Twitter space through the TFM profile, and we'll have some fun.
Neil has a question. Neil, did you have a final thought?
No. If you're not in the syndicate games, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. So
you're missing out. That's what you're doing.
It continues to evolve. Exactly. And the continued evolution of this is fun as hell. So thank you, Alex.
Almost as fun as the banter.
I was going to say thank you, Alex. Also, sorry, Willem. And I want Evan to do an entire Twitter space with an English accent. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, my final pro tip is if you like English dialects, especially like this, I would encourage you to check out a band called The Streets. They have a great concept album. It's called A Grand Don't Come for Free. If you listen to it from the start all the way to the end, it tells a story about this fellow who got $1,000 through some fun gambling means, and then he lost it, and then he got it all back again because he found out it was hid behind his TV. And it's a story about love and loss. It's an incredible poetic album delivered in an awesome English dialect. So The Streets, A Grand Don't Come for Free. That's my alpha. And I wouldn't leave the show. I would do it without giving you a crypto fortune cookie. And today's crypto fortune cookie, it's topical. It says, if your enemy is secure at all points, be prepared for them. If your enemy is secure at all points, be prepared for them. You, my friend, can be someone else's worthy adversary if you up your security game. If you've got questions about it that we didn't get to, don't worry. We're going to be back on Friday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's 6 p.m. UTC. And we're here every Monday and Wednesday and Friday. Same time, same place, except Friday when it's morning somewhere. So don't fret. Don't hesitate. You can join us there, and you can always catch us in the comments on Twitter, on Discord. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us, my friends. Until next time, rise up.